And here we go.
What is up, everybody? My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and we have got a really awesome review for you today of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I do apologize, I didn't get this movie review out a few days earlier. I did see it over the weekend, but I was waiting on some new equipment just so I can make everything look a lot better for you guys. So I hope that the results speak for themselves. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm not really going to spoil things. There may be some mild spoilers, but the major things that you don't want to know going into this movie, I obviously am not going to discuss. You don't need to spoil those things to really talk about them. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 continues the Guardians' adventures across the galaxy, basically being another rogue group going around taking care of things for cash and protecting certain things, reclaiming certain things. Very, very similarly to maybe like Serenity. We've seen this before, haven't we? Yeah, we've seen it before. They are legends in their own time at this point. They're the freaking Guardians of the Galaxy, as Rocket would say it. And I love the continuation of their story. I love that James Gunn, the director, basically came out and said, okay, we're going to give you a lot of what you're expecting. We're going to give you the jokes. We're going to give you the fun ragtag group of guys together and bantering back and forth and just a lot of fun. We're going to give you the beautiful visuals, the colorful visuals, the bright planets. We're going to give you everything you're expecting. Oh, and not to mention the badass soundtrack, of course, that does populate this entire movie. And the amazing score by Tyler Bates once again, because the Guardians of the Galaxy theme is probably the best theme, besides maybe the Avengers theme, that we've gotten in the MCU. Great, great theme, and that's just one of the many things that this movie does amazingly well. You can't go into a movie like this without comparing it to the first one. And the first one, it was fresh at the time. There had never been anything like it in many, many years. I mean, even though it's very Star Wars-esque. But it was just so fresh. Marvel hadn't done anything like that. It was great to see a sci-fi, movie. Chris Pratt, who plays Quill, Star-Lord, has blown up as a full-blown movie star since then. And it just seems like it's a little bit less fresh this time around. However, everything that I could have wanted, they did in this movie. James Gunn doesn't rest on his laurels, and I admire him for that. He could have just done another movie where it was all about the quips and all about the banter back and forth and some fun action, but that's not what he did. He took all of our major characters here and fleshed them out, except for maybe Drax, but that's okay because Bautista owns as Drax, and he gets all the best lines. I believe, obviously, James Gunn realized, well, we did a lot of his story and background in the first movie. We're going to expand upon all the other ones. Let's give him some great lines. He's by far the funniest part of the movie. Him and Rocket, obviously voiced by Bradley Cooper, the best. They're the best part. And Baby Groot is, of course, really, really cute. And yeah, you got me. You got me. Cute character. Doesn't need to do much. A couple of great scenes with Groot. Absolutely loved the fact that we got our characters fleshed out, especially Star-Lord and a few of our minor characters. Star-Lord in this movie is basically all about questing for his lineage. And obviously we've seen in the trailers that Kurt Russell shows up, and Kurt Russell plays Ego. And Ego is Star-Lord's dad, and he's a Celestial, so he's a god. And of course, those of you who know the comic book know that obviously that's not his real name, but it is much easier to say, so I give James Gunn some credit there. But he's a planet, and I won't reveal anything more than that other than the fact that he's come finally to try and be a part of Peter's life. And I thought that this whole aspect of the movie, while essential to the development of Star-Lord and just giving him another layer for us to care about, and it allows for some other great interaction with characters like Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana. She's so good, and their chemistry together is fantastic. I love the way they play off of each other, and there is this unrequited love that they kind of play with throughout the movie, and I thought that that's kind of stuff is always executed good, and I like that it's something that they play with and they banter with, and I really enjoy that. Like I said, their chemistry is fantastic. Everybody gets a little bit, though. I mean, Rocket, we get some explanation as to why he is who he is, and, you know, why he pushes his friends away and steals batteries that he's not supposed to, and I love the characterization here, because like I said, it could have just rested on its laurels and just coasted by on another good Marvel movie, and instead it wanted to be something more. You know, small characters like in the last movie, like Nebula and Yondu, get fleshed out so much. I mean, both of those characters are almost heartbreaking. And Michael Rooker is so good in this movie. Honestly, he's not my favorite character, because I think that still has to go to kind of Drax and Rocket with a little bit of Star-Lord mixed in, because Chris Pratt is once again just amazing. Charming, fun, perfect person to follow throughout this universe. But I think that there's a hint of tragedy in Yondu's story, and I love that they fleshed that out. And there's so much awesome to do with Yondu, and especially his arrow that he controls with his whistle. That thing is so awesome, and it led to some awesome action sequences throughout the movie's runtime. Nebula was a surprising one, because while Karen Gillan still is kind of overdoing it a little bit, you get to sympathize with her. You get to understand why she is evil, why she is the way she is, and why she's trying to kill her sister. It's really, really well done, and honestly, I thought that is the big reason why this movie compares favorably. I've been going back and forth as to whether I like it more than I like the first one, and I can see where they're trying to kind of do things a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more mature, and have that Empire Strikes Back kind of feel to it. I would say that the movie drags quite a bit. I love the ending. It's a little bit noisy, just like the last one was at the very end, but it all works because of the character drama and the beats that get you there and create that emotion. That's why it works. It doesn't matter that it's not some big bombastic, you know, Clash of the Titans. There were some villains in the movies that did bother me. So my two major nitpicks was the High Priestess and this gold planet, where these gold people, they always pop up to fight the Guardians and create a little bit more tension, and they're just not a really big foe. And there is some explanation in the after credit scenes that kind of make them have a purpose, but that's the after credit scenes. It would have been nice to see that they had a purpose throughout the movie, because they don't really serve much throughout the runtime. There is a villain in this movie that is honestly really awesome, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to go see it for yourself, obviously. But I actually enjoyed the villainous role. I did. And, you know, it's great to see, again, James Gunn just take a risk. He didn't have to, you know, jump out there and say, I'm going to make this a little bit slower paced and take my time with these characters and expand upon them. He could have just followed the same formula as the first movie, but he didn't. There's aspects of it there, and that's why I think I admire it more, and why I'm more impressed with it, because he gave me something to attach myself to on all of these characters. And that's really all you want in a film. I mean, with a lot of sequels, you don't really get that. You know, it's just, well, this is the formula that worked in the first one. Let me turn that up a little bit. Let me give you more action, double the fun, double the action, double the jokes. You just amp it up. That's not what James Gunn did. And I'm really impressed with the end result. I don't know if I can say I like it better than the first one, because I just love the first one. I adore it so much. And the pacing overall in the first movie is better. Everything flows a little bit more nicely. This one, there are some spots in there that it didn't exactly flow as fluidly and just wasn't quite as fresh as the first one. But with that being said, I think it's equally as good because of the dramatic aspects of this movie that the first one didn't really have. So it definitely has its strengths compared to the other one. So anybody who enjoyed the first movie and enjoyed the characters in this first movie, you're going to love this movie. And if you haven't seen it already, you gotta go see it. If I'm going to score Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's definitely so far my favorite movie of the summer movie season, and I've had a couple of ones that I really liked, including King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was everything I could have wanted it to be and more. There's definitely going to be probably an explanation video about the after credit sequences and kind of what those mean. I do plan on putting one of those together. Again, sorry I waited a little bit longer to get this review out. I figure those of you who do want my opinion on the movie will still watch, even though you may have already seen it, and just have a little discussion with me. You know, what did you guys think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? In the comments below, put it down there. Let me know what you guys thought. You may not like it as much as I did, and I want to know what you didn't like about it. You know, or if you liked it and agree with everything I said, tell me how awesome I am and how smart I am. Do that. If you guys enjoyed this review, don't forget to smash that like button. Definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this review and you want to see more, because we're going to have tons of things coming at you in the near future. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and as always, my friends, have yourselves a super week.